Oyibo man, they go through all this mess?
I don't understand it. The principle is you work and earn a living, right. But I don't know why we've come to believe this lie.
Okay, all right.
But of course, sorry. I mean, let's hear from the listener when the phone is open. Let's hear whether anybody has tried. If you've tried, God forbid, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but if you know how it works, you can enlighten us. But I mean, come on.
All right. How about this? Tinubu appoints Jim Ovia as Student Loan Fund chairman.
That was, the news broke
yesterday,
last night. Jim Ovia is a well-known, he's a Nigerian of consequence. He is a well-known name, well-known face. In banking, in business and entrepreneurship. He's been there, done that. He's arguably one of the people whom we can put forward and say he's an example of Nigerian success story. So let's see how, and of course, the statement that was read did allude to the fact that he has used those platforms to empower young people. So it would be great to see how he brings all of that to bear with the student loan scheme, given the high level of pessimism that has greeted its ability to deliver. So let's see how it happens.
All right, this one. Why we lack air traffic controllers? Farouk Nama MD, he's telling us.
No, don't tell us why we lack. We shouldn't lack these things. It's like saying why somebody stole the lights on the runway in Lagos. What are you saying now? What does that mean? That the airport runway light was stolen. There are things that don't get stolen. There are things that are usually taken. Don't say it was stolen. We can't be given excuses why there's no controller. The other only the other day we had Dana Airlines aircraft overshoot the runway.
Yeah.
And the federal government came hard with the fist of whatever it was to ground
iron fist.
The iron fist to ground the airlines. But they've not used the same iron fist to address their own backyard. It's just that the operators cannot challenge the regulator the way people like us can do. But I believe that if they are to open their mouth, even if they are the power, they bring their own iron fist on the regulator. Because in many cases in Nigeria, your regulators are absent. They are absent.
Okay, let's talk some politics now. I'll take you to Edo. Edo 2024. Obaseki, Igbenedion, Danjuma, Ikimi, and others to lead advisory committee for PDP Goba Campaign Council.
So these are very big names, but they look to me like big names from the past. I don't know how many.
Yesterday men.
Yes, I don't know how many
electoral
value. Okay, yeah, let me even keep it there. I don't know what electoral value Ikimi still has. I don't know what electoral value. Danjuma was a senator, but I don't know how much of that. I mean, ex-senator really now. Who again? Egbenedion. I mean, come on. The people who helped Obaseki win his 2 terms, okay? Most of them have defected and have gone to the APC. I can't remember this man's name. He's a serving senator. Senator, the one that defected to the APC, and Oshomole even had to apologize to him and begged him and said, Organo Vexo. Okay. I didn't take your advice, but I've come back to realize that the man defeated the Oshomole's gang and he's a serving senator. He has served twice. He won in 15, won again in 19. Sorry, I think won in 19 and won again in 23. And Oshomole said, I see what you said back then. You are a man to reckon with. So if this is the way they want to, if this is Obaseki's trump card, I hope he is able to deliver.
All right. Still talking more politics. Ondo now. Ondo PDP primary will win November governorship election. Jagede and the PDP.
Yes.
Are telling us.
Yes. I hope it's not short-lived, but that Jagede, I want to believe, is Eitayo Jagede, SAN, who was the former candidate of the party twice, and I believe should have won at least the second at the second try. If not for that, the Supreme Court invented a judicial abracadabra.
But, a development of the last 1-2 days. A a former deputy governor, Agboola.
Of course.
Ajayi.
I'm coming to it because it's Agbola's picture that is on the story. Okay. So the point I'm really going at is this. If Jageda is closing ranks with Agboola Ajayi, the former deputy of to the late Governor Akeredolu.
Yeah.
So which means the party is sort of united and is one piece, unlike the APC, where you have most of the other 15 contestants, most of them joining ranks against Lucky Aiyedatiwa, to the extent that when they met with Ganduje in Abuja, they refused to take picture with him, notably Olushola Oke, Wale Akintarewa, and the third guy, the third man, Jimo Ibrahim, the businessman.
Yeah.
They refused to take group picture with him because the picture would have made it look like the winner of the election and the disgruntled, the losers, the bad losers, the sore losers. So they refused to take picture, which means that the anger or the disenchantment in the APC is strong.
Yeah.
And the problem again is that of those 15 candidates, there are too many oversized egos. Juma Ibrahim, serving senator, I wouldn't like to look at him as a pushover. Olushola Oke has been a president's ally for many years. Wale Akintarewa also, I think there was a post he made before the election. So these are very big names. If you have this kind of big wigs in the APC and they're fighting the sitting governor, I don't think that APC National is really interested in overturning they won't do that. They know better than to do that.
Right.
But the question will be, what can they now give to make those guys soft? And if they soft pedal, will they come out with full chest to support Lucky Aiyedatiwa? That's a big question.
Cyril, Kogi is waiting. Yahaya Bello responds to EFCC's allegations on $720,000 school fee payment.
I honestly, because of course I saw it, but whatever it is Yahaya Bello said, the question is that yesterday we saw letters and receipts from the school, right? Saying that, writing to the EFCC and saying we will refund you the monies since it has appeared now that those monies are proofs of corruption. I honestly don't know how somebody paid $720,000. All fees for children paid up front.
In these crazy hard times.
What is crazy and hard for one is very sane and sought for others. But this is the problem. Now, what could have that amount of money done for a state? Other than that, one man will allegedly take all that money out from the state. And in dollars in Nigeria. Citizen Jones? In dollars in Nigeria. Paying school fees in dollars in Nigeria.
Yeah. You
don't do it. Because if you did that in Ikeja or at Yaba, they will arrest you. But a governor
would do it.
But why? So why did the EFCC chairman know all this and tell him that you call him on the phone to say, come to the EFCC, you follow back the enter?
All right. Hear this one. Sit up or resign to save party from collapse. Clark writes PDP acting national chairman.
He did. I think I align with him, not because I'm sympathetic.
Align with who now?
Clark.
Okay.
Not because I am sympathetic to or with the PDP per se as a party, but for the sake of democracy, we need a viral opposition. Now, I think the other day was one of the party's main, shall I call him members or something? But of course, he's a member of note, who said that it pained him to see that Obasanjo and Jonathan could afford to observe the PDP bleed as a party. Two former presidents just watching the party, going to ruins. I think I align my thoughts with him. There's nobody doing that today. The NLC is nowhere to be found. The TUC is nowhere to be found. Then the PDP too is floundering. Maybe that speaks more to the president's kind of politics than to the PDP itself. Atiku tries, but even him is more like a lone voice. He's been there exposing a few things, but even him comes across as a lone voice. So one wonders what next then is, not for the PDP itself, but for opposition, because somebody must be there to check and balance the government. It is necessary for That's that sort of alternative opinion to flow and to float.
All right, Cyril, let me announce the time now. It's 7:15, and this is newspaper headliners reaching you from the VOP 90.3 FM on your dial. We move to the Punch now. The Punch leads with this one. Government extends search for fleeing 4,000 inmates to IDP camps.
No, you may want to take that again.
Government extends search for fleeing 4,000 inmates to IDP camps.
That for me doesn't sound like big news, and should not be treated with that kind of because I fear, citizen, I fear. This is not pessimism, but I fear that the way we did with the Kuje prison break, I don't know how many people they've got back. The same thing happened in Imo State. And you know, when people talk about insecurity, sometimes you need to take a step back and wonder where this whole thing is coming from. We had the Owerri prison break. This to happen in spite of security intelligence reports that said prison break in
likely.
The offing, prison break likely, prison break they come.
Yeah.
They said they gave notice more than 44 times. Nobody did anything about it. Now you have the one the one where it can be hand of God, be act of God. What should give me the courage that you have the will and manpower, and because if you didn't do it with Kuje and what gives me the belief that you have the trajectory, the experience, the know-how, the everything to go after. Now you are talking.
Mine is if you are going after these fleeing inmates and extending the search to IDP camps, must you go public?
I'm even coming. I mean, that's a good question, but I'm even coming. Who brought the idea of IDP camps? How did you just land on that? And you must tell us that you get IDP camps. You see, please, let me just say this now. No, citizen, don't give up yet. It's the way of shaking your head. But let me say what I think. You know, when you want to do the work by talking, more by talking than by acting. That's what I see here. What is IDP camp? What of hospitals? What of hotels? What of all kinds of places? How are you? What does this even mean?
Okay, listener, the story is in the Punch. Look it up and get the details. And the information is one you might want to use. Other stories. You can't destabilize my government. Benue governor warns ex-governors.
Ex-governors, I believe, of course, yes, that's tactical, because when he says ex-governors, the chief person I believe he's referring to is the
immediate past.
Right up to the secretary to the government of the federation. Of course, we know what's going on there. How there has been no love lost between both men. But like we've said, the governor has to play with caution. Yes, that has been my personal view on what's going on, because politics is a very dicey game. Except the governor has everything kit well knit under beneath his feet, but I can tell you he has to tread with extreme caution.
How about this? In the Punch still, noise pollution. Lagos seals 5 churches and 19 hotels.
Yes, of course that happened. This is the challenge. Ideally, these buildings ought to be soundproof, right, or noise proof, so that whatever it was they are doing, you wouldn't have to hear it if you were outside. Hotel is private business. Religion is also a private thing. So under proper regulations, noise should not, what you do in one place should not affect another place. But the other thing I'm going to say is there an actual code, an actual way, an actual enforcement template? This thing shouldn't be arbitrary. You see, there are nightclubs located in residential areas. Manufacturing noise. So a lot of times they act because of the person who has gone to report. You know what I mean? They act because of the person who has gone to make a petition. But what I think should happen is churches and hotels and so on, these are places that create tourist value for the state. Like it on here. So there must be what they need is deliberate and codified enforcement that does not lead to businesses being shut down, but also helps people. Yes, so that's what they need.
All right. Court adjourns case seeking to sack 27 pro-Wike lawmakers.
So adjourned, but not struck out or dismissed. So let's wait. Let's wait until drama reaches a crescendo.
Okay.
But for what it is worth, well, the matter is sub judice, so let me not speak into it.
Yeah. I wasn't ashamed doing menial jobs in America. Doris Simeon is saying this. You remember her? The Nollywood actress. Yeah.
And she won't be the only one. A number of them have said, after Jackpa, life, no, it wasn't as green as it seemed on the other side. Right?
Is the grass always greener on the other side?
It is not. It's an illusion. I think it was when we were growing up, there was this song by Oholi. Where she said, there is no place like home.
Okay.
Home sweet home. That when you go north, south, east, and west, you always come back home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Something different now. What my sickness taught me, Zach Oji.
He's been speaking a lot about this. We're grateful seeing he's made a recovery, because there was even unsavory news that was let out about him, and he came out quickly to say, look, that's not the true state of things. But these are the people that gave us entertainment many years ago. Zach Oji, Liz Benson, Charles Okafor, and they were the staple faces you saw in movies. The father Peter Doche, Yeah, those were the staple faces you saw in movies. Shegu Arinze, going back then in early to mid 90s, they were the faces you saw. Even to the early 2000s, they held it down before the current generation came up. So Zach Oji deserves his own accolades. He deserves his flowers. We pray that that he lives to longer years, and that we are in an era when a lot of actors, the Nollywood family as it is, keeps losing a lot of its leading lights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sickness, this and that. But to the one survivor, I think we were grateful.
Okay.
We're grateful.
All right. Next is This Day newspaper. Leads with to attract dollar inflows, strengthen Naira. FG plans $10 billion diaspora fund.
Now, diaspora. Well, whatever happened to us here at home? The key whenever we hear strengthening Naira, it must mean something. What does strengthening the Naira mean? In my opinion, what it must mean is that the things that are within the control of the Naira primarily should come to life. For example, domestic manufacturing. I don't see any reason why we have a Ajaokuta Steel Company and we are not producing any. Yes, so whatever the Naira can do on its own, those should come to life. You know what I mean? The Naira has some control over crude oil, over. But what have we done with it? We're not refining locally. So the purchasing power of Naira must come to life. It is only when that is done. Diaspora bonds, diaspora fund. Why are you putting your that's gambling now. That's gambling. Why should government be gambling? Does that not look like a betting scheme or something? That's gambling. Let's look at the things we can look. Citizen Jones, let me just wrap with this, please. Give me like a minute. In science, there is a science to a lot of things. There's a science to life. If you want to succeed at anything, you must be in control of the factors of your success. Anything other than that, is like you're playing Baba Ijebu. Don't do that. Yes, be in charge of your own destiny. You want to strengthen the Naira? So diaspora funds, if people in America and people in Canada are not able to send money because of the cash crunch there, it means you are doomed. You're doomed. What happened to what you can do here? What happened to that?
Okay. Hear this one. Abuja-based American school writes EFCC to refund Yahaya Bello's children's $760,000 fees.
I told you earlier, the school even said that they went as far as saying that they wanted authentic banking details. That's what they said. So that they can refund the money into the appropriate account. They said that. They said that. They wrote to the Lagos Zonal Office. The letter was quite detailed. So, Yahaya Bello saying that he did not. I don't know. There's no need to gaslight the public. If it happened, it happened. To even think that the man is still at large to this moment is, for me, sounds more like complicity than it is than it is that the EFCC or the government is not able to. A man that the federal government has put on his watch list has not been arrested till now. Seriously, when we hear these things, do they not make our ears? In my place, they will say my ears are dancing.
Okay.
In English, they say your ears are burning. How is it that somebody that an entire nation has put on his watch list is at large
within the country?
Within the country. Come on.
More like you ain't seen nothing yet. All right, hear this one. Federal government threatens to terminate 870 billion naira contracts with 5 firms handling Lokoja Benin Road.
Yes, the works minister has been talking tough. To some extent, I admire his approach to the work. He is hands-on. He knows his job. If you look at what he did in Ebonyi State, it's mind-blowing. But coming back to this matter at hand, I think that ultimately, where we ought to be is a place where the engineers in the Ministry of Works can and should by themselves make the designs and build the roads. Is it possible? It is more than possible. Why are we running away from that one? It's because of corruption. We live in a country where you have a whole Federal Executive Council will be meeting every Wednesday, and all that they discuss are contracts. Is that they're awarding contracts? That's not what government was created to do. Except in Nigeria, where Federal Executive Council meeting every week, and all that they discuss are contract that they don't even release money for. Or that when they release after some months, you hear that the money was diverted. It shouldn't be so.
Okay. The Nation next. The Nation newspaper leads with Tinubu appoints Jimovia as chairman of NEL Fund.
Yes, of course.
We
don't have any. I think that the biggest headache is going to have is to try to market the program to get enrollment. There's even a risk he's taking there, because I won't say, but there's a risk he's taking there. Now the question is, how many of Nigeria's poor, looking at the stringent conditions attached to the loan, how many of Nigeria's poor children can enroll? That's the real issue. Because if this is interventionist and meant to drive inclusion, how many people can now be? How many people can become part of the enrollment problem thing is going to be there?
This is
the criteria is extremely looks very
extremely.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
This is a happy one. Pregnant woman gives birth in kidnapper's den.
It's a pity.
No, a pity.
It's a pity.
If she no give birth, nine be pity.
No, but a child born in captivity, that's not a good thing. But you see what? Yes, but you see, this is the problem now. They will not probe. Has anybody ever sat down to understand the psychology of this of this menace, of this problem? How the kidnappers have facility to feed hundreds of people when they kidnap them. They have facility to help a woman put to bed in captivity with them there. They have all kinds of things that, and you wonder, this thing, is it not that we have allowed this criminal underworld to thrive? I don't think they are doing these things as out of radar. It is that we are complicit. We are. We are complicit.
Okay.
The governor, the one governor said they even listening on their phone calls and hear what they say, but they're not going to arrest them. He said earlier that he paid them off not to. What did he even say he did? He paid them. He from as governor from his own state coffers. He paid them. Today, Kaduna State is a new hotbed.
Okay.
Is the latest. Of course, they've taken over. They're from Borno. They've even made mockery of Plateau State. Kaduna is the new hotbed of insecurity in Nigeria.
Okay. Hear this one. Fuel scarcity bites harder in Abuja, Ondo, Osun, and others.
No, it's not biting harder in Ondo and Osun. Of course, in Abuja, yes. Ondo, Osun. It's in Lagos too. It's everywhere. The NNPC quickly said 2 days ago that it was due to logistics and that they have not solved any problem.
I heard that.
They have not solved nothing.
I'm wondering.
It's not. You see, when you hear Abuja, it's not just Abuja, it's Abuja and Nasarawa State together. They've not solved nothing. And now let's even ask the question. You know, I said it. I was saying earlier that to succeed, all the factors of your success must be in your control. Must be in your hand. Largely be in your hand. When they say logistics, who are in control of the logistics? They have the monopoly to import. They have the trucks to lift, to transport. All the things that are needed are within. Or they don't have fuel to power those. Or they don't have diesel to power those trucks. When are the sole importer of of the finished products?
Okay, let me take your mind away from that. Try this for size, Cyril. We didn't plan for 7 children. Family planning treatment failed us.
Oh.
A hard fact of life.
Of course. A hard fact. Not just a hard fact. You know. It fails. I've seen this a lot. It fails. Sometimes it fails. Sometimes. At other times, some women are sometimes worried of the there are different what's it called now? Family planning methods.
Yeah.
Sometimes women are worried of the side effects of those things, so they largely want to, avoid them sometimes. But
can't avoid having children.
Now, there's one that they also call holy mistake. That happens. So
that must come from your book.
Oh. But I mean, children are a blessing any day. So
okay. Ex-agitators pass vote of confidence on Otuaro, comment Tinubu.
Yes.
You're wondering what that story is all about.
Otuaro Kingsley was one of the former deputy governor of Delta State. It should be. So, yeah, but ex-agitators passing, that's like a pressure group speaking. It's all politics. It's for political purposes. Why not? They have the right to freedom of expression and freedom of speech. So what they say is purely what they think and what is their own opinion or mind to speak. So,
okay, next will be the Daily Post newspaper. Why people do strange, incredible things for love. Psychologist.
I agree. The famous scientist Albert Einstein, was it Einstein? He was quoting physics and chemistry into love. But somebody said one time that there are reasons of the heart that the mind knows nothing about. Ideally, the mind is the place for reason.
Yeah.
But when it comes to love, even the heart has reasons to do things that the mind cannot logically fathom out. So I agree.
When I remember that a lady, Helen of Troy, caused a 10-year war between Greece and Troy.
It's unbelievable.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Actually, if your love has not made you do strange things,
yeah,
I don't
never start.
It cannot be called love yet.
Okay, Abia Speaker defies court order, declines inauguration of PDP lawmaker elect.
Yeah.
Only he can.
Only he can. And
yeah,
the defiance to court orders is not a new thing in our country. I had a lawyer saying yesterday that even when a judge has signed a warrant of release for an inmate in a prison, sometimes the prison warders will tell you must pay them, otherwise you go back with your warrant. There's a lot that's not right with our country. Administratively, there's a lot that's topsy-turvy. What must happen is leadership must arise. We can't say this enough. Leadership must arise with purpose and direction. Things will take shape. But until that happens, this place we are, it's not the best. It's not the best place we can be. But you say that things keep going from bad to worse. So it shouldn't be, but that's what it is.
Yeah, Cyril, this next one is a happy one. King Charles III to resume public duties next week after cancer treatment.
He has to resume duties. He's the King of England. What do we expect? He's the King of England. But you see, even the King of England, like the American president who once went under a knife, when Dick Cheney was vice president, then took over, we know what he's down with, right? In America, when was it Obama or no, it was George Bush Jr. went under the knife. For the hours that he was under the anesthesia, what was his name? Dick Cheney took over as as acting president. But in Nigeria, a president can be sick for 2 years. We'll be begging them to tell us what they are
sick of,
or what they are done with. It's a shame.
Yeah,
where they will tell us that power tariffs have to go high because all around the world power is not cheap, but they will not tell us what they are sick with or sick of, because all over the world leaders, that one they will not copy that one.
Yeah,
the copy was convenient and come and deceive Nigerians and do what they like.
They cherry pick, as they say. All right, the Sun newspapers next. Workers' welfare, labor carpets Tinubu.
They're not carpeting him anything. He will walk away. Even if President Tinubu does not announce any minimum wage by May 1, heavens will not fall. This NLC and TUC, we have known them for what they are now. Heavens will not fall. Look at them proposing 615,000 minimum wage. Have they held negotiations with the federal government? Have they been talking? You hear them say on May 1 that they are going to go on strike on the following 1 month from that day. Then those long 21 days or 30 days will come to pass. They will now say that strike has begun. By midnight of that same day, they will call off the strike. I don't.
Okay,
they shouldn't deceive us.
This next story is interesting. Yahaya Bello is digging in. EFCC, no amount of blackmail will intimidate me.
Nigeria is interesting, our country is interesting. Aren't we, Citizen Jones?
It appears we are watching, as I always say, a poorly produced horror film.
Because this man has been declared wanted by the EFCC. He is on the federal government's watch list. But nobody knows where he is. He's not to be found. But his issue statements, and he is speaking from wherever God knows. So let me reiterate my point. We are not interested. We are not serious about arresting Yahaya Bello. And it must be for a reason. If we were, by now, we would have been cooling his heels off somewhere. But not to take anything away from it, the EFCC too has not done the best it could have done. They too are to blame for this whole mess we're in. They are to blame.
Okay.
A part of the blame must land on their head. Haven't they now gone to court to go and amend the charge and be withdraw? So they too have a problem. They clearly have a problem.
And not to worry, the EFCC chairman says
they didn't do well at all. They did not.
He has vowed if he won't dock him, he'll resign.
Then he should resign at once, because I don't see that thing happening. They are not. No, look, if you want to arrest, if you want, there are recommendations we cannot put on air here. But if you want to pick Yahaya Bello, you should pick him today.
Okay.
You can pick him today. If in all sincerity,
we can't teach them their job.
Oh, thank you.
We should not.
Thank you. Now, if sincerely speaking, nobody knows where Yahaya Bello is, The DSS does not know. Police intelligence does not know. EFCC intelligence does not know. Defense intelligence does not know. Army intelligence, Navy intelligence, intelligence, nobody knows where Yahaya Bello is. It means that Nigeria itself is not secure, is not safe. That's what it means. You know what I mean? Citizen,
I don't know what you know.
You've been on radio. This is your 50th year on radio, or behind the mic, as you like to say. If they don't know you well enough, then that's a smear on them. So nobody should tell us that they don't know where Yahaya Bello is. The question is, are we really ready and willing to pick him up? The matter, as I see it, is that politics and legal and
just gone 20 minutes to 9.
Yes, politics
to
and
8 o'clock.
Yes, politics and law enforcement are now clashing somewhere. That's what's happening. Otherwise, that you don't know how to pick Yahaya Bello up, that's not true.
All right,
that's not true.
Serious. This is a howler. State police will create more insecurity. Ahamba is saying this.
Mike Ahamba, SAN.
You don't trust?
No, I don't agree. Respectfully so. Okay. Because when we say state police, we're not talking autonomous police. It is called state police, not autonomous police. Before he went to jail in England, there was an interview Iko Kuremado granted. Anybody can watch it. It's there. It's there public. There he outlined a framework which I think we can adopt for state police. He's a federalist. He likened it to the NJC. The head of the judicial in any state is the state chief judge, and he has enormous powers. But even he can be sanctioned by the NJC in Abuja if he stepped out of line. You know what I mean? So state police does not mean that it's not autonomous. If the need arose, okay, if the need ever arose, you can federalize the territory for a time, restore order, and then go. But largely, the officer should be undertaken by what's it called? By state police commissioners, who should be led by the state government, the state itself.
All right, let's move to the Guardian now. The lead story is this: suspension drama. How Ganduje escaped Oshomoli's treatment as APC national chairman.
Well, yes, he escaped the Oshomole treatment, but the way he escaped it, for me, it doesn't go beyond, I'm sorry, judicial abracadabra. Because there was a flurry of injunctions for and against, and the people, to me, appear that they picked the one that they should obey.
That suits them.
That's what happened. We need to teach politics a lesson in this country. Politics must stop corrupting the judiciary, must stop corrupting everything we do. You know, our politics is not mature yet. We need to put politics where it should be.
All right, how about this? Zulum urges establishment of military bases in Sambisa Forest.
He what?
Urges establishment of military bases.
I do agree with him.
Yeah.
I do agree with him. To an extent, I do agree with him. It will work. I do agree with him to an extent, yes.
All right. Former Guardian columnist Agiobu Kema dies at 73.
Who?
Agiobu Kema.
Wow.
I remember that name, you know.
We pray for his family and those who love him, the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss.
Okay. Imo PDP suffers another setback as NWM resigns.
There was a particular headline I saw when Ihedioha, is that his name? Emeka Ihedioha.
Yeah.
Left the party within the week. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. The headline said, PDP's meltdown in the Southeast begins as Ihedioha resigns from PDP. And within days now, NWM, what is NWM you said?
Yeah, not Evano. You know, Evan is dead.
also
another winner
is now also on his way out. So I don't know how they're going to deal with this exodus or hemorrhage if it became full blown.
We have agreed that politics is a zero-sum game. If you no lose, somebody no go gain. So it continues.
It continues. But if this happens, the South is the PDP's last bastion.
Okay, let's apply the brakes here. Time to hand over the microphone to the listener. Dear listener, are you moved by any story or stories we shared? 0700 903 903 903. Let's get cracking. Take a minute. That will be enough to summarize your reaction. Yeah. 0700 903 903 903. We're waiting for the first listener to reach us. This one quickly from The Guardian. Baby switching, a booming trade behind the increasing paternity crisis.
I agree. There must
be a clique responsible.
I had this in passing, recently, about someone that was told you have when they told the mother, the sexes, that she had been delivered of. By the time they moved to the ward, it was another. They were saying something else. And I wonder whether it was doctors that had the baby with the woman, because in reality, those are not errors that I've ever heard them make. You can't tell somebody in the labor, say you have this and this, and then suddenly by the time you move to the ward, it's another thing you're being told. And I said, why? I mean, they could have pushed for redress to say, what exactly did you say I had then, and what I said I have now? Can you explain? What is it that you did?
If these things are not punished, Cyril will still be in a mess.
Citizen Jones, we are not civilizing. See, we are not civilizing as a society, and that for me is a problem. Look, let's even come back to the Yahaya Bello issue. Now it's been normalized. The man feels he has the right to challenge the state. So when these sort of things are, you cannot deal with the major issues. You want to pick micro mini problems. Every society must have its own mechanism for dealing with. When you deal with the main problems, the Tumala wants to take care of themselves. Frankly speaking.
I hope the telephone line is live, and the number remains 0700 903 903 903. Or Cyril, am I to assume nobody heard us?
No, you're not to assume. I think the question would be if the line is live indeed, as you asked, albeit rhetorically. So that's where we are. But of course, Nigeria can always get better if we got our values right. India, as I speak to you, is blazing the trail. There was a time Nigeria was arguably better than India. Today they have the Chandra on the moon. They have an eye in outer space. So we can always push. South Korea was like this many years ago.
Yeah, until
they lifted themselves. No, that's Singapore.
Okay. South Korea. Okay.
South Korea, Singapore, India, Malaysia. They were all at a time left for dead.
So it all has to do with the choices we make.
Leadership matters. Leadership recruitment matters. Leadership matters, and you have to be deliberate about it. The question we ask ourselves is, what value does Nigeria intend to propose to the world? What value? I had,
if any.
Look, the countries even go in search of an identity. Countries even go through religion. India today prides itself as anchoring its foreign policy on Buddhism. They call it Buddhist diplomacy. So what does India give to the world? Cricket, yoga, Bollywood, and masala chai. Masala chai is some kind of tea. There's masala, there's a meal, and then masala chai is some kind of tea. the world over.
You are not advertising.
I'm not. But okay, so we could go to China. Okay. China is selling infrastructure to the world. Okay,
what's Nigeria selling?
That's the Shebi, you say America is selling Silicon Valley as tech. America selling tech, selling Hollywood, selling fashion.
So are we not selling anything?
What are we selling to the world? What can government say?
Voodoo.
I can tell you what Nigeria has advantages in. Okay, but we've not started selling it, because when you now talk of selling it, you must have a dedicated platform from which you are deliberately strategically exporting these things to the world. We're not doing that. Germany sells its own. Dubai is also selling something. Okay, so that's why these countries are top of mind. You can always easily refer to them. That's not even to mention medical tourism.
It is not spending hours and days inside a church or a mosque.
But the right thing. In Nigeria, Nigeria is such a country that if you say let's do one thing now, look at population census last year. We were discussing. They said they were going to spend 500 and something billion naira. To count later, the budget went up almost 1 trillion. Before Buhari would leave, they said that they have spent 200 and something billion naira without counting one person.
we can sell that to the world.
Hey, waiting.
I thought you were listening. 0700 903 903 903. We have 4 minutes to go. Please call us. Let's know you are there. This is newspaper headliners reaching you from the Voice of the People Radio, 90.3 FM on your dial. Let's go there. Which story or stories tickled your fancy? Let's have you go there in 60 seconds. You can. 0700 903 903 and 903. All right. And at the top of the hour, we are having Citizen Jones this morning. This is a show in which we tackle everything thrown up by contemporary Nigeria, just so you know. And very interesting. This morning, we are going to tackle a subject matter which I'm sure you already know about. Father arrested for impersonating son at UTME examination by JAM. We are going to interrogate that this morning. Still looks like nobody wants to
have a word with us today.
Yeah. World Malaria Day. United States pledges to foster robust malaria services in Nigeria.
I agree, but why should the Americans be the ones to come and do that for us? Why are we not able to? You see, our scientists have the capacity, but when you are a country that has nothing to propose and sell to the world, you will be in this morass. Malaria that any Nigerian mother can cure. Haba. The Malagasy people, Madagascar, how did they deal with COVID? It was Dogon Yaro. There's no. It was this neem leaf. Even the all everywhere was saying the same thing. What we need to do is to take what we've already produced in the tradomedical way one step further.
Yeah.
Yes. And how is it that malaria is endemic to us here, and for more than 100 years, no solution to it? We're not serious. When God has given us everything we need to deal with it, the gap is take what is in the earth into a room under a microscope. Maybe pour water, put this, add this and add that, and turn it into what can maybe say into a capsule, put it in a sachet and put it on the counter for people to buy and drink. But we won't do it. All the things that are endemic to us in this part of the world, we are the same. We have no solution to deal with. I don't think it is correct.
I think Cyril, our time is up.
It is up.
But we'd go, but not before thanking you for this a labor of love.
Of course, and I apologize to the listener in case he or she has been trying to reach us and hasn't succeeded in doing so.
But I dare say the line is live. You know.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you. Cyril, you'll be here on Saturday next week.
God willing.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you one more time. Good morning.
From the world famous DJ Bunduki.
I'll be on the phone, calling you tonight. I wanna make you show me, make me know the fight. I don't want to sleep alone, wanna hold you tight, but I fool my eyes, but I'll be alright. Forever, oh my laptop, oh my keto, oh my sheet on. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go. I be talking to myself, and I don't even notice. She got me feeling like a zombie, and she dey shoot like Chuck Norris. The way she put that body down, you got me falling truly. I just touched down. When I see you now, serving on the phone, calling you tonight. I wanna make you show me, make me know the fight. I don't wanna sleep alone, wanna hold you tight. I fool my eyes, but I'll be alright. Forever, on my laptop, on my keto, oh my sheet on. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go.
To almost any issue thrown up by contemporary Nigeria. And today, father arrested for impersonating son at UTME exam by JAM. Get that right. Father arrested for impersonating son at UTME exam by JAM. I can say they are in the police net as we speak. Now, you know, parenting is a complex endeavor. It's a balancing act between love and responsibility. Many parents, though, do not balance well, so they go overboard sometimes. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has hinted of the arrest of a father and his son by the police. The father reportedly impersonated the son during the ongoing Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam, UTME. This information was given by JAM Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede while conducting an inspection of UTME centers in Kaduna. This misdemeanor has been a long time coming. I have two gentlemen who are fathers in their own rights, individual rights. And of course, there are gentlemen who will not spare the rod to spoil the child. Let's meet and greet them. Tochukwu Ezukama is one of them. Tochukwu is a town planner, a biographer, and a public affairs analyst. Tochukwu, good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
Yeah. You have a frog in your throat or something?
I don't know what it is, but we'll find out very soon.
Okay. The other gentleman is Nelson Ekujumi. Nelson is an activist. He's been in the trenches for a long time now, and he's also a national affairs commentator. Nelson, good morning.
Good morning, Citizen Jones. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Nigerians.
So, gentlemen, Father...
I've played the frog in my throat.
Okay. All right. Father impersonates son, writes UTME for the son. I wonder how you react to this, gentlemen.
Well, it's a reflection of how low we have sunk as a people. Because in the time...
So you are saying parenting is sinking?
Parenting is almost gone. The family values is no more there. And don't be surprised that we are only lucky that one has been caught. Who knows how many would have done otherwise? Because as a young father, when my children were trying to access primary education, we went and wrote the common entrance examination. Okay. And lo and behold, my daughter came out and said, Daddy, the auntie in my classroom, the invigilator, was calling the number for us. He was calling the answer options.
Really?
Honestly. And you go to some examination centers, parents go as far as contributing money, to compromise invigilators. That's really how bad it is. And these are the same parents. Tomorrow they will tell you the politicians are corrupt, or they will tell you, policemen are collecting bribe on the way, on the road. So the situation we have found ourselves today, we are all culpable. Okay. I can say it for free. We are all culpable. People should stop pointing accusing fingers. Rather, you should look yourself in the mirror and see how you have contributed to this mess that we have all found ourselves.
Yeah, Tochukwu.
Yes, there's been a moral and ethical collapse of the Nigerian society. And things got so bad, the morals...
This one will be a hardship, Kosamo.
A combination of factors. Wealth at a point we didn't know how to manage, so it made us hedonistic, it made us financially reckless, it made us corrupt, it perverted our value system, it warped our value system. So the moral squalor continues to fester, and it keeps getting worse and worse. The thing is that we need a responsible, disciplined leadership that will at least arrest the drift, because things are getting progressively worse in Nigeria.
Your home is going down under. You wait for government.
It's government that shape a society. Without knowing it, children behave like their parents. And without knowing it, the masses behave like their leaders. Values. Where do values come from?
Values come from the family.
No. In the days of Obafemi Awolowo.
No, Tochukwu, but it is said generally that the family is
the first contact of the child with civilization.
Yes.
A unit of society.
But what shaped the family? Let me finish. In the days of Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, you speak grammar, which is an indication of knowledge. People respect that. Our value system respected knowledge, hard work, merit.
Yeah.
But these days, you speak grammar. Abi na him we go chop. Everybody's looking for quick fix. What do I get on the spot at the moment? And what changed it? What changed our value system? Leadership. So the family, because your father goes to work, your mother goes to work, goes to the market, and those things that the leadership has already determined influence them. So the values in the families are shaped by leadership. So the yes.
Tochukwu, but you have heard the statement, crazy statement. Now poor, I know craze.
You don't have to be poor to
be crazy.
No.
Or crazy to
some
be poor.
Some rich men are crazy. So, the thing is that you don't. Our problem started with oil money. irresponsible leadership, a woeful mix of irresponsible leadership and so much money that was just dropping from above, like windfall. So the thing is that where we are now is that we have a governor who was in power for 8 years. And after 8 years, he's been accused of having misappropriated 4 billion. He cannot be arrested because there are very powerful interests protecting him. So it's all about leaders. So we tend to behave like these leaders. If you can
I'm wondering how that permeates your family.
Because you break the law and get away with it.
Tochuku, you are the head of the family.
Yes.
And if your son begins to bring things that are not supposed to be in his possession home,
yes,
rather than chide him, you are goading him on. How does government come in here?
But what does the system say? Most of the people we fed around in Nigeria are thieves.
Nelson, is he speaking for you?
No, he can't be speaking for him. The thrill of it is the differences in opinion. Okay, so leaders in the church who twist the Bible upside down and fleece their members and become very rich, we worship them. The press writes colorful, wonderful articles about them. Politicians that steal people's money refuse to be accountable, refuse to answer to the law. We worship them and we fed them around. So why do the man on the street not see glory in dishonesty, glory in breaking the law, glory in getting things you have not worked for, reaping where you have not sown? That's where the problem is.
Let me ask you pointedly.
Yes.
Can you impersonate your son? Can you afford to write an exam for your son?
No, I will not do it.
So government
irresponsibility did not
does not get to that.
Did not affect you.
Government irresponsibility affects me in too many ways. But then I can still make some choices for myself. But the thing is that standards have fallen. And
but you cannot go to write an exam for your son.
No, I cannot.
Daughter.
Jones, I drive and I come to a red light, I stop. Although there's no policeman to catch me, even if I go through. But those behind me will be honking for me, because they think I'm crazy. Why are you stopping when there's no car coming in the opposite direction? And when there's no policeman to catch you? That's the general mentality. So those of us who refuse, who play by the rule, are the eccentric few. The eccentric few are still sane, but the generality of the society have adopted the new mindset, the new ways of doing things, the new value system.
Citizen Jones, I'm totally opposite of what Tochuku has said, because for me...
But don't go to court.
No, for me, I won't run to scapegoatism, because one, I was born and brought up in this same environment, and I know the values I inherited from my father that he passed on to me, which are what, anytime I have issues with my children, I tell them that, look at me, whatever you see me do are things I
expect you to ape.
Yes, that I copied my father. My father was a man that you can do everything in this world and it will be with you, but don't go against
the law.
Yeah. My father will tell you, if you go against the law, you will die for prison. You will die in the police. So you know that if you do that, you're on your own. That you have a father that will not. I'll give you an example of myself. And when people say leaders, the society today is like this father that was caught. I can't just imagine it. It's because we live in a society where men and women who are supposed to speak up have decided, out of fear, intimidation, blackmail,
opportunism,
whatever, to keep quiet. There was a day, I'll give you a personal experience. There was a day I came into my house and I met my wife and my daughter discussing. Immediately I came in. They just said, Madiogbo, don't let him hear. They kept quiet. And I said, what are you people discussing now? Let me know. They said, no, don't worry. I said, okay. So when the mother now went out, I now started romancing the girl. that please now tell me I'll buy you something. He said what they were discussing was that our mates in the secondary school, she was in year 3 and SS2, going to SS3 to write WAEC.
Yeah.
She said our mates have gotten their 5 credits in GC the previous year. I said, how did they do it? He said, people wrote it for them. He said, that is why my mommy said we should not let you hear, because we know you never want us to do that. I said, you know now, you know me. I will never. I said, look, I will be destroying your life. I can be gone tomorrow. So what becomes of you if I lay the foundation now on fraud, on deceit? She said, you know the next thing she told me, what about if I write it and fail? I said, fail 10 times. You continue to write. She said, I'll be wasting my money. I said, maybe I'm the one working for the money.
Now my money.
Now my money. I don't worry. But he say, I will follow you. Go talk to anybody. Forget them. If you don't take your brain work, make you get them. Forget. Now you go to work out for road.
Tochukwu, we can talk about indulgent parenting now. You know, they are highly attentive to their children's needs while tolerating their misbehaviors.
Yeah, because of the collapse in our moral collapse.
But it's not government. It's now the family.
The moral collapse was shaped or determined by leadership, so families are following. I tried to read a book by Adelabu Adegoke.
Okay.
And the book was very hard for me.
Benkelemes.
Long ago, I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
The book was very hard for me to understand. And I told my father that it's like the politicians of those days were much more knowledgeable than the politicians of this day. My father said yes, because the white man was around. And the white man was not swayed by the size of your pocket, how much money you have, but by your knowledge, how hard you've worked, how prepared you are to do your work. So that's why the politicians of those days were very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Merit, okay? And then when the white man left, his legacy started deteriorating. I was a bad student, and in the 70s, I was trying to get into the university, but I could not. Repeatedly, I failed the entrance examination.
Okay. Until
I ran to America. That's why I studied in the US. Those days, bad students went overseas.
You ran to America. Now leg you take what?
No, I follow a dog which is fly. They flew me over the Atlantic Ocean. So I had an uncle who was a lecturer, a professor at Nsukka, my mother's uncle. So my parents took me to my uncle at Nsukka.
Why?
So I can get into the university.
Okay.
They didn't say don't take the exam, but they say, uncle, is there a way you can help this man somehow to get in? My uncle lost his school. He almost walked us out of his house. The man scolded me. Hey, you little boy, Tochukwu, if you want to come into Nsukka, go study, go read your books. Nsukka is not a place you can enter with no man. Okay? 10 years later.
So government no been get wahala there.
The standards hadn't fallen. We had better leaders then.
Yeah.
The moral, ethical collapse was yet to come. 10 years later, we went back to the same man.
The family didn't lose its relevance then.
The family had issues, but it wasn't as bad as it is today.
Okay.
10 years later, we went back to the same man to see if he can help my junior sisters get it. The same man said, yes, I heard that the results are out. I'll be very glad to help. Just let me know. Keep me informed. I will help you. The same man that was totally against it, now his standards are slowly falling. And so the society over the years degenerated. Values keep changing because of the way our leaders ran the society. And this man, the man that went to do this knows it's very common. Like your daughter told you, it is very common. Yes.
These are leaders.
Yeah.
Did they drop from the moon, or they were followers before they became?
No, they didn't drop from the moon, but they didn't tell us, I am one of you. I am coming to complicate your problem. They say, I understand your problem. Choose me and I'll solve these problems for you. The system, you are hungry. I will have responsible economic policies that will get the economy thriving. So they provide the enable environment for your businesses to grow. There is this moral lapse in the system. I'll fix it. So there are people who lie to us and fail us repeatedly. So if you're one of the boys, why are you the leader? We chose you because you gave us the impression that you are
I don't want to take over
I
don't want to take over the role of Citizen Jones, but I hope you know that a leader does not make a society. Rather, it is the people. A leader is just one man out of 1,000.
That shapes the society, moves the society. The people, the Jews were what they were for centuries until a man came.
As we are sitting down here,
set the moral tone, moved the people from point A to point B. The children of Israel were afraid of Goliath for days, 40 days, until one man came and changed the situation. It's all about leadership.
Let me ask these direct questions.
Yes.
Please don't feel offended. No pun is
No.
intended. Has your family dropped the ball now?
I will say yes, over the years, yes.
Really?
Slowly, without knowing it, subconsciously. Standards keep
Nelson,
dropping.
you are...
Standards keep
you are
across
in
board.
yes, the family values.
But Nelson has not dropped the ball.
No,
You said my family
not
collectively this time. You didn't ask me.
Yes.
My family. They are two
the
separate
family,
issues.
I just said it. What that father has done. Go to exam center. I just this week.
I hear that they have something like special. I hear they have
Special
something like
centers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, even people around you, if you are not careful, they will corrupt you. They will tell you, do you want to destroy your children's future? Yeah, everybody is running
20 minutes past 8.
Everybody is going. Their children are writing in special centers. They are gaining admission. You are insisting on merit, hard work, honesty. That this is where the train will leave you at the station, and everybody will be gone. But at times I ask them that it is not how far, it is how well. And why do I say this? When we were growing up, there were some little acts that we were taught. But you see, these days, in fact, without your parents even telling you. For example, one of the values I learnt as a young boy, if you come into the house, you remove your shoe, you place it to the side of the wall. But these days,
by the door,
somebody will just come into the room, we remove his shoe or his slippers, one will be south, another will be north. I said, what is this?
Yes.
You dare not. You finish eating, you just put your plate in the zinc. Who be your servant? We go wash your plate. So that is this issue of trying to say government. I absolutely
Not government.
It is the family because for me in my home.
Tochukwu, leadership to the man on the street, a man on the sideline is government.
Yes.
And the other way around.
You see, the slide started the first time before I left Nigeria. You go to public offices and they offer you services. You go. On my first visit to Nigeria, my father said, go to so place, and after they do so thing for you, public office, give them something. That surprised me. That was under Shagari's rule. The standards were falling and falling steadily. My nephew...
Did you give?
I was instructed. Of course I did. I went to...
So at that point, you blame parent government.
At that point, I blame the system that's shaped by the leadership. Leadership made it that government workers now expect some kind of gift after they offer you public services.
It's not government workers alone. Let me quickly give you this experience. One day I went to Computer Village. I had a CPU, that machine for script for monitor, the computer system. I wanted to fix my monitor. I now kept, there was a cobbler under that bridge at Kudeso. I now kept my CPU, because computer processing unit, that's what they call it. Because I could not carry both. I was running a cafe then. I had a cyber cafe. So I kept it with the cobbler. I went into the market, fixed my monitor, came out, wanted to carry my CPU that I put on the ground beside you. You know, the next thing they come, okay, you know, go give me something.
That's the system.
I said, when I won't spoil this life, you know how many things I do for people for free. Waiting this one come up for you. Now you polish them.
You're the eccentric few that still do things for free.
I said, you want to destroy this? We didn't meet this life like this now. Why you everything you want somebody? If they greet you in the morning, the next day they want you to put down in your pocket.
Okay, your boys there.
Can you imagine?
It's the system. My nephew.
People wake up in the morning and come to your house. There was a time I was aspiring to run for chairmanship of a local. I have not made my intention public. Some people were already calling me chairman.
Honorable.
Do you know that in the morning they will come to my house? Chair, your boys. I say, I don't want to see you now for my house. If not like this, I don't even want to run again. Waiting. Go to your own work.
Yeah, it's the windfall mentality that money drops from above and falls into outstretched hands. The thing is that you have to outstretch your hand at the right place.
All right, take your time from us, 25 minutes past 8, and this is Citizen Jones this morning on the VOP radio. Yeah.
My nephew was telling me that...
And our talking point, you already know. Man arrested for impersonating son writes UTME exams for son.
My nephew was telling me that when they took the exam, SS3 exam, that they had special centers. The invigilators working in concert with the school administration had set up a special center. He wasn't part of the special center. But if you're not part of the special arrangement where they give you answers and then help you pass the exam, they'll frustrate you so much.
Who are these they?
The invigilators who are working in cahoot with the school administration. They want you to bring out money so that everything you do, they keep harassing you. Okay, so that ultimately he had to source for money and give to them. So
my frustration here is that in these crazy times, the family values with you as the head of the family will fizzle out.
Yeah, it's falling, and it's falling steadily. And the generality of Nigerians...
Do you know that when we were growing up, in our homes, we had timetable for food. Do we have it now?
Okay.
You know, on Monday you are eating beans and gari.
Yeah.
In the evening for dinner. In the morning on Tuesday you are drinking pap and akara. We don't have. You know, there was a day a cousin of mine was asking me that, do you have favorite food in your house that all of you will sit at the dining table, the whole family, and eat? We don't have it. That is part of where the family has begun to sink. Those are values.
But why is the family sinking?
Yeah, but aren't you begging the question? You just said government is responsible.
Leadership is responsible.
Leadership is responsible for my timetable, how to eat in my house.
Government.
And our leaders keep getting worse and worse and worse over the years. There's been this steady deterioration in the quality of individuals that lead us over the years. Think of a Second Republic. We had people with some...
but you know, we also in Second Republic, you also know we had the worst of politicians.
Things were beginning to slide, but not as bad as it is as of now. The NBA those days could stand up and defy the government because they think that certain policies they were getting into. An NBA.
They go to court.
Nigerian medical
NMA.
So battled the Diabo government.
Yes.
Some of them had to run into exile. Nigerian Bar Association, they were very powerful those days and could stand up to the government. The labor unions did that. Now student unions Now you don't have students' union saying a word. You don't have labor union. Oh, we're striking tomorrow. 10 hours before the strike, they call off the strike. We stand up, we go, we don't come, and they lost their credibility. What is happening? Because everybody wants a piece of the pie. Nobody wants to take responsibility to anything for anything. Is what am I getting? Windfall mentality. So that has permeated.
Tochuk, my trouble here now will be with this craziness in the air.
Yes.
Parents will lose it.
Parents,
regardless.
Parents are losing it. You have to be strong.
They have lost it. Not even they are losing it.
You have to be strong-minded, and you have to be the eccentric few, because the pressure from the system, the pressure from your own children, others are doing it. That's what they did to pass. Now it's in the university. I am here stagnating, failing year after year. And so the pressure from the society.
But the pressure has always been there.
The pressure has
always been there from time immemorial.
My father would have gone to take an exam for me. Those days we had what we call, no, not in my time.
You think there was no pressure then?
It was
unthinkable. The values was, you know the reason why it couldn't happen then.
Yes,
was because the values were very strong. Okay, for example,
the values changed. The values.
Tochukwu, I'm you are making me go back, memory lane. I remember when I was in secondary school. If we write exam and you are caught cheating, you are finished among your peers.
Yes.
Even before the school authority meets out the right punishment to you. So that one alone, that ostracization by your peers
for your time check, 8:30
is enough deterrent. So it is not about the government. It is about we, the people. I have some friends as I sit with you. I don't relate with them anymore. Why? They were involved in some acts that I felt I'm buying this agent. You need to go and I have a friend who claimed to be a human rights activist, and he was claiming to be a lawyer. The first day I met him, I told everybody around him that this guy is not a lawyer. Not until the Keja MBA issued a disclaimer. And the guy went to hiding for about 3 months. Then he came. Do you know that if any time the guy comes on our platform, I will tell him you are a cheat, you are a fraud. Don't talk on this platform. Some people will be telling me I should keep quiet. Is he the only one?
Yeah.
So now on that platform, I don't talk to them again, because I've seen that all of them, their values have been corrupted. We know that the society has gone, bananas.
Nelson, I told Tochukwu earlier on, let me drop it again. Now poor, I poor. I know craze.
Say you no follow me talk. Me and you, I know I sit down here, Nelson Ekudumi. I go say I be medical doctor. Where my certificate?
Why will how will
do I need to claim to be a doctor to live?
Okay. No. The thing is that during my days, for example, children did what they call expo. Expo is like examination.
Till tomorrow.
Till Jesus will come.
But you did it without your parents knowing, because your parents will finish you.
They will kill you.
The school authorities will finish you. Okay?
Yeah. Your friends
will avoid you. And I noticed that Nigerians have this propensity these days to steal. When I was growing up, if you're a thief in school, people will ostracize you.
Yeah.
But then these days, people just steal very readily, very carelessly. You leave your thing.
You hear things like, now lay him.
So the thing is that, but why did standards start falling in the schools? That you now do malpractice, and the school authorities will not mind. Your parents will not mind. Your friends will not mind. Nobody will mind. Okay? Because of the change in our values. So this deterioration in our values, value system will continue until something is done. The churches can help us a lot, but more so our leaders, if they start reversing the trend. If you go to the churches, you see behaviors that will just baffle you.
Tochukwu,
yes,
we have heard about religious leaders or religious appointees who will go and purchase a property for a branch of the church, and they will inflate the figures.
Well, they are Nigerians.
We will say is the government.
It's the same value system. Our church members are human beings like you. They live in your neighborhood.
People stealing offerings that have been contributed just because nobody was there. Somebody picks the envelopes and pockets it.
In your pocket.
That one no be government cause am.
Values. I talked about government shapes our values.
I believe it's the family that shapes the society.
The government shapes the family mood.
Which comes first, the family or the government?
The government.
So where do you keep the family?
The family follows the government.
No.
I don't understand it.
I know.
You don't need Tochukwu, because you don't need the approval of government to marry.
No, you don't need the approval of government to marry. But in a country where a snake swallows millions or billions of naira and nobody says a word.
Says who?
Says a word.
Why did you say so?
They say,
the case was taken to court now.
You are saying it
I'm saying a word. I'm not in that literal sense of the word. But people don't get severely punished. Okonji-Iweala, Sanusi talked about $20 billion missing. Okonji-Iweala said, no, it wasn't 20 billion. It wasn't missing. It wasn't accounted for. Nobody resigned. Nobody. In some countries of the world, a government would have fallen. Okay? So you, the father, you see these things. It's all around you. So you're being squeaky clean. You're playing by the rules. Suffering, can barely provide food for your family. And there's this fraud all over you. In high places, in low places, it starts influencing your mindset. That's the thing. I worked with a man called Wanze. Wanze went by the rules. Na choshim, na mashim. I don't want. I don't know. Don't tell me. Wanze died a poor man. Those around him in the same position built houses in Enugu, built in their village, lived good. So for me, a young man growing up watching that was where I worked for.
What lesson did you draw from that?
The thing, that was where I worked before I went to school.
What lesson did you draw?
The lesson I drew from it is that too much of everything is bad. Learn to strike a balance between good and bad.
So you are saying you should have compromised.
Did you
I should have compromised.
That
should have compromised. Yes, he died of diabetes. He couldn't take care of himself.
When we were growing up,
yes.
You see, I told you earlier on that it is not how far but how well. When we were growing up, this Yahoo that they are talking about today has been with us for ages.
Yeah,
I know of people who were doing Yahoo then that they bought the best of cars. When they come to pubs, you see the way they spend. When we were growing up and we were following, we were very envious. At times, I'll be like, this my father safe. Sabi enjoy life. If he go work, if he don't come, he go sit down for us with my mama. Now story do they talk. Make he enter streets, enter beer parlor, carry all the girls. I'll be. When you see somebody become like a honey or sweet where ants they cluster around, yes. It dey sweet me as small boy. Lo and behold, these same persons that we were envying, you need to see the way they died, which tells you that command from God, that from your sweat will you eat.
Of course, you eat from your sweat.
So all those Yahoo they do that time.
I am
within
not,
a space of 10 years. Go see how they.
I am not in any way advocating criminality or encouraging any form of breaking the law. The point I am making you asked me a question. What lesson did I draw from this particular man's life?
He died an honorable man, though.
Sheikh Stevens of
Sierra once they died an honorable man.
Sheikh Stevens of Sierra Leone said, now where you tie goat, now they're in the chop. So he was on his job. He relied on his salary solely. But he could have made some extra money, not exceptionally breaking the law.
The question remains, did you draw any lesson?
Yes.
A vital lesson.
From
what
whence?
lesson was it?
Too much of everything is bad. Too much of playing by the rule
You
is
must
bad.
drop the ball.
Not dropping the ball. There's an Igbo saying, which means Igbo traditional philosophy disagrees with extremism. It's good to be courageous, but we know that it's the coward that escapes. So where do you strike this balance between cowardice and courage? Okay, there's a need to strike a balance in everything we do. That's what I learned from this man's story.
I hope you are not saying that for Wednesday, right? Honesty
Doesn't pay.
Honesty is wonderful, but to what extent? To what your
otherwise, Tochukwu, to you, honesty does not pay.
Did I say that? John, you're putting words into
No,
my
I'm not. Remove them. But you are suggesting to me.
Honesty pays.
So you didn't draw honesty from Wednesday's life.
No, I draw honest. I'm still a very honest man.
Okay.
But I'm not squeaky clean. I don't pretend to be perfect. I have no pretensions to perfection.
If chance come, you go Rohi.
Wouldn't be Rohi.
You will drop the ball.
No, I don't have to drop the ball.
So tie it to what we are discussing.
Yes.
The father had no reason agreeing to write the exam for the son.
It was terrible. It was a terrible thing.
It's a taboo.
At that point, it is not government.
No, government shaped the society, shaped the value system, shaped his mindset. So by extension, it's the government. It's leadership that shaped. Look at what started happening in the universities, where professors will be sleeping with women with impunity and say things like,
and some were not.
If you don't sleep with me in this class, you will never. That's enough to fire a professor and even get him to charge him to court for what do they call it? What abuse? What do they call it?
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment. Yeah. But it became normal. In the 70s, it wasn't like that.
Because you said it in the cause of the money, we hardly punish bad behavior.
Why don't we punish bad behavior?
It's not about punishing bad behavior. It's about who do I want to be known? What do I want to be known for? Who am I? I was teaching in a university, and a friend of ours, we were having examination, and he came from another. He was an external examiner.
Okay.
And the guy said, Nelson, you guys, within 4 days that I've been here now, I've been having a good time with your girls. I said, that is your luck.
Yeah. Nice.
Why are you people this dull? You are not sharp. I said, I was not brought up
that way.
In that way. Lo and behold, just a year or two after, Google, go to Google. Google is your friend. He was caught
being sharp.
He was very sharp.
Sharpness.
He was caught with a lady in an hotel in K2, and the lady said, he intimidated the lady that if you don't cooperate, you will not pass my course. So he didn't know that the lady had a sting operation around him. So he took the lady to an hotel in K2. He was caught with the lady. The police arrested him. They brought the case to the school. He was dismissed. That was his end in the academics.
Did you see him?
I didn't even bother to see him.
Did he see you?
Yeah, I didn't even bother.
You for ask him, oh boy, you sharp.
Your sharpness.
We were the mumu. Now we see there here today. So
we're still standing.
We are still standing.
Yes.
And I tell people that, like you have rightly said, I'm not a saint. But there are some do's and don'ts.
Some standards.
I'll tell you, I will never do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
At a point in time, I've told Citizen Jones this story. There was a senator who was accused of drug pushing, who fled from the US to Nigeria. I was called to come and be his PA when he was having that running battle under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. I was told he had an hotel on the island. That if I agree to be his press secretary, that my sign-on fee is $20,000. They said that senator does not pay in naira; he pays in dollars. And I told the person that if I collect $20,000 today, what about my tomorrow?
You know, my people, the Ibi man will ask, if you chop five naira food and go sheet 100 naira sheet, which you go tell people say you chop?
So I told him that I can't do it.
Where does the 95 naira sheet come from?
I told him I can't. When some of my friends now heard better, they say, you go do them after people go forget. I say, no. I want to be able to stand anywhere and talk.
That's it.
I want a situation where when
because small potter for your shirt.
It goes a long way.
Somebody go point them. Or see your shirt dirty.
But in a society, I quite agree with what you're saying, but in a society where the generality of those that we worship, those that we glorify, are smeared one way or the other, morally, ethically.
Yeah.
The average man on the street who is not that morally robust, not that strong-willed, might decide, you call it dropping the ball, might decide to drop the ball, at least to survive this system, this very hostile, vicious system that we live in. So that's what is happening.
That's cowardly, whether or not you believe it.
Yes.
All right. Take your time from us, listener. It's 8:45, and it's time to get you talking. Are you there now? 0700 903 903 903. Do you agree with what you are hearing on your radio this morning regarding parenting in the 21st century? Let's go there. Take your 60 seconds. Let's get you talking. Yeah, to you were.
So that's the average man does not have that very high moral fiber. You have the eccentric few who sticks to their stance irrespective of the circumstance, no matter how stormy things get. But the average man is not that strong. The average man tends to move with the system. And that's what we have. The generality of Nigerians have accepted this system the way it is and just want to survive in it. So the man did a very terrible thing. But wouldn't it have looked very awkward for a grown man of his age to come and be sitting an exam for UTM? Because you're a suspect immediately.
So maybe he has a boyish look.
Your son must be maybe a teenager in his late teens trying to get into the university. And you'll be in your early 40s to early 50s.
Prescribed age for writing UTME.
Yeah.
You can be 60 and want to go to university.
Yeah, but it's a little out of place.
Yeah.
The average...
we talk about indulgence. Many parents indulge. They call it love.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, what crosses your mind each time you hear something like, oh, the suffer way I suffer, I don't want my pikin to suffer.
Depends on the definition.
It's just like the normal saying of this jackpot syndrome. People will tell you, I want to jackpot because of the future of my children. And I ask them, did my father jackpot for me to be where I am today? So if you give your children the education they require, leave them so that they are
take care of themselves.
If you think you are building mansions for them, by the time they become of age, they will tell you you have just built a pit latrine. That is not our own standard. So invest in them. You're talking about the average man. What the average man should do is to invest in himself. A lot of us, why we are still standing is because we see ourselves as persons that have the potentials to be anywhere. So that was why we refused to drop the ball.
Let me say this here. Very many years ago, my mother sent me to the market. On the way, I saw 5 shillings. It was a note at the time, if you remember.
Yeah.
I picked it, got back home, and told my mother, see 5 shillings. I picked it because 5 shillings was so much money.
Of course, then.
My mother chided me asked me to return it. I took it back there, and ever since, till day after tomorrow, I don't pick anything on the floor.
And
I don't.
Citizen Jones, you remember in those days, if we go out with our parents and somebody gives you anything, the first thing you do,
you must
render account.
Yeah.
But these days, before they give our children things, because we are failed in our responsibility, they won't even tell you.
Anything goes.
Somebody, the man will just tell you that I gave your son 20,000 last month. Did he tell you? You'll be like, what?
But that's face your parents. You didn't teach your children.
Is that government?
But not the government.
You became careless with certain
That's
things
what we're saying.
because of the erosion, what I say, perversion of the value system.
Yes,
certain things.
for me, the family is the main, because the family makes up the community.
I feel terrible that the listener can't interact. You know.
Okay, because
I know he wants to. He or she wants to. 0700 903 903 903. Let's get you talking. WhatsApp call and chat 081 7175 56338. Take it again, 081 71 75 63 38. Let's see if we can establish a contact.
So the crux of the basement, or the denigration that we are facing as a people today, is as a result of the failure. Because I cannot imagine a father, I'll go and sit for exam for my son
in the hall, and you can brave it.
Should have been very, very shameful. Man was shameless, first of all. He is not a senior brother, not a junior brother, not a friend.
Nobody. You go and write your exam, you go there and fail and come back.
Yes. Father, that was quite extreme. That's repulsive.
I just can't imagine it.
But that's the system. That's the system. It is the parents.
What a crazy system.
The parents, their values are shaped by what they see outside their homes. That is what they see in the general society. Because the professor who almost walked us out of his house, because Nsukka is not a place you enter with man no man.
Yes.
The same professor was promising to help. 10 years later, I'll do the best I can. What shaped him is the things happening around him as the standards were beginning to fall, as the values were beginning to be warped.
He reminded you Nsukka was not a place you entered on an account of man no man.
That first time.
Yeah, but even the second time, it was the same thing. He told you that we will monitor the scores.
No, second time he said, I heard the results are out. I'll be glad to help.
Yeah.
Just keep me posted. I will.
But nothing changed.
Nothing changed. It's still the same results. That's the results. The man didn't say he's going to help you without the results. We went to.
You came to him to help you go in. He said, "Get out!" Or he almost walked out of his house. Yes.
There was no result. He didn't mention result.
Gentlemen, we are running late. Tochukwu, take 60 seconds. Let's take it home.
In taking it home, all I'll say is that it's a pity. It is very sad to the extent our moral and ethical standards deteriorated over the years. And the most disturbing aspect of it is that it continues to deteriorate. Nothing is being done to at least arrest the drift and then worry about reversing the trend. That a father will go stoop that low to take an exam for this, what his child is repulsively. It's just unthinkable. It's just sad. But that's where our society is. So I'm calling on our leaders and calling on our church leaders, political leaders, because those are two most important leaders we have. Religious leaders and political leaders, to start talking, to start doing their best, to start not just talk, but set the example, because as the saying goes, an ounce of example is worth more than a ton of precepts.
That's it. 60 seconds are up. Nelson?
Well, I feel ashamed and I feel pained as a parent, seeing how we have degenerated.
By choice.
Yes, by choice. You know, it's our choice. I just hope those of us who can still keep our heads above the waters, we'll continue doing what we believe or what we have inherited from our parents, because we owe it a responsibility to keep this society going in the right way. What we have become today is by our choice, and there's no need looking for people to put the blame on.
Yeah.
Like I said, look in the mirror, ask yourself, how am I
Look at the man in the mirror.
Yes, how am I
Michael
impacting
Jackson.
on lives? Thank you.
Okay, we are done, and let me thank Tochukwu Ezukama for your time.
You're welcome.
And